Good evening and welcome to another stream. So today it is more Hellwitch work, and I'm really excited because I think I'm gonna finish it today. Woo! So this is gonna be loads of fun and I hope you guys really enjoy it. Let me get to my channel so I can see who all is here. And okay, so last time we worked on this Hellwitch blank. We did the pencils and the inks. And while I was working on the pencils, I made some adjustments to them because there was a few things that needed fixing. So today I'm going to be working on finishing up the colors. So we have the other wing to do, and obviously you can see there's quite a bit that isn't finished. This particular piece, I am using the reference of a cover that I did for Hellwitch, the Hellwitch #1 Kickstarter. So what I'm trying to do here is use that dress as reference for this particular cover. So granted, the dress that I did for the cover, I colored digitally. So I could select every little piece much more easily than I am able to do here. Here I'm gonna have to worry about going outside the lines. Now in places like this on her her arms, it's black bands of, you know, think like not quite shiny like leather, but some kind of material there. So there's black bands, and then all these bigger white sections are gonna be like sheer cloth. Think like black nylon, for instance. So it's somewhat see-through, but then is a darker tone. So that's why I haven't colored any of that stuff yet. But I'm here to work with Copic markers. I will answer any questions that you have about Copic markers, and hopefully this piece will be done. So it's gonna be really exciting. And I have another camera here, and this one has my phone on it because I'm gonna try to take a time-lapse video at the same time. So I did it in the last stream, but I'm still trying to work out positioning and where exactly to film it. So I'm trying another way this time so it's not quite in my face like it was last time. There are a lot of cameras around and it can get a little difficult to actually see the work, so we'll see. Oh, hello, Mr. E. I'm so glad you have some popcorn. And hi, Kylie, and hi, Sarah. It's a later night stream for me today. I have been running around all over the city today, driving everywhere. So I didn't have time until now to stream. Hello, Sloan Bone. Thank you. Wayne, hi. Good evening, Travis. The time lapse was all right? Okay, yay, phew, thank you. This time I'm gonna try filming it portrait because there were a few times where I went off screen with the time lapse. The way that this case is, I don't know if you guys can see it a little bit from there. I have tiny little windows where I can actually see my screen to see what it's actually filming. So this is not an exact science at all. I can't really tell. So I can't really move the camera much to see. This is the old one I used to use when I did Facebook Lives, and it didn't matter because I could see it on my iPad of what you guys were seeing. In this case, I'm going almost like 90% blind on what exactly it's filming. Oh, John Sloan, okay, hi. I'm gonna be at Emerald City and C2E2, so I'll see you at either or both. Yeah, it's my trees, Kylie. They're the ones I found on the Canadian version of Craigslist, basically. So I have 2 trees here and then the third one downstairs, and I love them. Hello, Gabriel. Welcome to the stream tonight. I hope that this is an easier time for everyone to make it. Like, honestly, this is the easier time / only bit of time I had today to get to a live stream. I haven't touched a paper to draw at all today. It's been a crazy, busy, non-art kind of day. But I'm excited to get back to drawing. Hopefully my hands can get warmed up in the process. It's freezing here. Okay. So if I have time, which I'm hoping I will, I know I said I was going to do this last time and I didn't get around to it, but these both need the finishing touches. With the Copic Opaque White, I want to do some splatters. They just need a little bit more extra pizzazz. So I'm going to hopefully get around to doing the finishing touches on these as well tonight. So I have them set to the side. I have my hex chart like usual. And we're going to get this done. Hey, Scott! I'm so happy you like the way the wing looks. Yay! Dinner for the family is happening now. I grabbed some early dinner so that I could stream with you guys. So dinner is done for me. So I have all the reds here, and the browns for her wings. So I didn't really even clean my desk after the last stream. I just left all the Copics here, and I'm ready to start again. So I haven't done any of this work off the stream. This is just going to be done completely on live stream. So yay. And I only have one more blank to do and one more week to do that blank in, and I should be able to turn over all 4 to Coffin Comics at Emerald City Comic Con, and I better make that self-imposed deadline. I'm gonna feel like such a failure if I don't, so I'm gonna do it. Hello, Dave! Your Hellwitch sketchbook. All right, so I did the wing last time by request. Now I'm probably gonna finish her and then do the other wing. So I think that my plan was to get some of the lighter portions done and then do the black bands at the very end. So I'm gonna be working with toner gray markers. I have toner, cool, and warm. The warm ones have a bit of a brown hue. The cool ones tend more towards a blue-gray. And the toners are as flat, neutral, gray as Copic makes. They also have a neutral gray. Now, if I compare the neutral and the toner, I would say one of them is the cool gray version of the other. And, you know, grays are such a funny color, really, because they have hues to them. So, the toners, I'd say, are the warmer of the two between toner and neutral. I prefer the toners. Your eyes can't perceive if these ones are slightly warmer than the neutrals. This is like aggressive geeking out about the shades of gray. 50 Shades of Grey. I still haven't seen the movie or read the book, but I don't think my life is hurting for having not. But anyway, yes, there are many different grays that you can choose. I like the toners. Oh, thank you so much, Mr. E. You know what? I think I agree with you. Or maybe I'm a little bit more leaning towards this one. Just because that green is really hard to do. But either way, I'm so glad that you like this one the most. That's awesome. I haven't. But, you know, maybe I will watch it sometime out of sheer boredom. Philip, I'm sorry I missed your comment. Hello. Yeah, a lot of the other girls I've talked with weren't too impressed, so it didn't come with high recommendations from any of my friends, so I was like, oh well, I'll pass. Okay. I'm not really sure with the toner grays which ones I'm gonna use, so I'm gonna have my whole Ziploc baggie with my toner grays ready. And since it's time to get started, I will start on this time lapse, and we're just gonna have to seriously hope it works. Oh, Kara's here too, yay! Okay, time lapse is started. I learned something this last time with the time lapse video thingy. I think that the longer you go, the more it compresses it. So like I could barely even see my hands moving. It was going so fast. But for this stream, it's going to be a little bit shorter because I need to get my kids to bed and stuff like that. I am sorry, guys. I'm not, like, I don't have the scheduling, like, you know, some people that can go for like 4 or 5, 6, 7 hours in a shot. I'll get there. Not quite yet. You know what, Kylie? It's very possible that I do, and I don't know if I'm gonna need that. So maybe I'm gonna do a little test spot right there. Outlaw Wolf, hello! Welcome to the stream. I'm gonna get the reference. So I'm looking at, for anyone who's jumped on since I explained this, I am copying myself here. For an actual cover that I did for Hellwitch, where she has the red dress. I might even have the one-off print. So I am given permission to do a one-off print for the original owner. And so this is the Hellwitch cover that I'm using as reference. This is the dress. And this is the dress that I'm doing. So as you can see, it's sheer, and you're right, Kylie, you do see the brown through it, like the skin tone. So I will be putting skin tone in first and then going over it with toner, and I hope the markers work together, and I'm just gonna have to cross my fingers on that one. But I'm gonna get the file so that I can actually see it. Okay, so I'm just getting, oh, here we go, Coffin Comics. And final covers. Now you guys know how to do my filing. All right, August 2018. Finals. Hellwitch main. Low. So I'm just looking at the low res version. I don't need it high res. Devin, hello! Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with E13, which is the darkest of the two skin tone colors. And I'm doing a little test spot. This is kind of the most inconspicuous little spot I can find. So I'm gonna do that first. All right, and I'm gonna try Kylie's suggestion of using the warms. I don't know why my mind is set on the toners, but I could be wrong here. So I'm gonna test it out with the warms and just see. All right, so that was warm 6. Let's try a warm 3 to blend it out. Nope, too light. Warm 4. What can happen if you end up using a color that's too light? It'll do like the yellow does, and it starts to bleach the colors. And that is not something you want to happen. So I'm not trying to bleach the tones that I'm using. So now I'm going to put in a little bit more E13. This is going to be tricky. get a warm 5. And then go in with a warm 6 for shadows. All right, the colors don't interact very nicely together. That's the one problem, is that they're so, like when you go so far away in distance from the tones, like that is just really out there. What happens is you end up with some blending muddiness issues, but I think seeing her skin through is kind of important to the whole look. Let's try a warm 5 again. So maybe if it's just the base color, it'll work fine. All right, I'm gonna do the back arm now to just keep testing this, the plan, and see. Okay, now I'm using warm 4. Going back over it with E13. And I'm doing it while they're still wet to try to get them to blend together a little bit. I'm gonna add a little bit more warm 4. I don't think that there should be any warm just completely on its own. There we go. Now warm 5. A little bit more E13. And some warm 6. And actually here, because it's kind of in the back, I may even put a couple darker tones. All right, now I'm gonna get a warm 8. I'm just gonna jump way up here. Blending it with some warm 5. Thank you, Jeremy. Okay. All right, so Kylie, you were right. The warms was a good call. Next spot. And again, it really isn't important if I get some of the color onto these white bands right here, because I'm going to be coloring them over in black anyway, so it's really not a big deal. Okay, so I'm going to go a little lighter on the rest of her body, especially on like her stomach and thighs, because the material would be stretching a little bit more than it is on her arm, and this arm is kind of in shadow. So I will be keeping it a little bit lighter, bringing in more skin tone. Okay, warm 5. a little bit of warm 6. And I'm blending it out with the warm 5. Okay, and then doing another spot. Oh, thank you, Kylie. Alright, so the way that I've managed to get them to blend without bleaching each other respectively is I do E13, then warm 4 on top of the E13, and then E13 again on top of the warm 4. And that seems to prime the paper enough and blend those colors together enough to give it that more nylon-y appearance as opposed to a really odd-looking bleached situation that I had over here when I hadn't quite figured out how to blend the markers properly. Okay, that might be too dark. I went to warm 8 by accident. So I'm using warm 5 right now. And I might just leave it at that. Okay, so then here we go, another big batch. E13. I might have to refill this marker sometime soon, especially before I go over her face. All right, warm 4. E13 again. And now I'm going to use warm 4 again, but I'm going to do it as shading. And also here we're a little closer to the light source. I've kind of got it coming right here along her body. So I'm going to start putting in shadows a little lower down and on this side of her hip. All right, that was warm 5, and now I'm blending it again with warm 4. And then I think I'm even going to take some E13 on the top to just blend it out even further. I'm going to use some warm 5 again. Because nylon has, it does go more into shadow quickly. There we go. And maybe at the end I'll even take some skin tone colored pencil to give it a little bit more shine. But for now, this is how it's going, and it's actually working out really well. Kylie, thank you. I would not have had the guts to just mix these different shades together. I would have just been like, oh my god, no. At the beginning I was like, oh god, I don't know. So thank you. Okay, so I want to accentuate her hip line here, catching the light. It'll kind of go from boob, rib, hip bone, down. So I'm kind of gonna be a little bit more stingy with how much gray I'm gonna put over this section. In my opinion, this is where it'll really catch the light. So I'm gonna try and maybe not use warm 4 perhaps what I'll do is actually use a warm 2. So it still has that gray look to it. It doesn't look like it's a run in her tights or something, but it's not quite as dark. So I'm using a warm 2 here. As you can see, it's kind of bleaching the color. So I'm going to put E13 down again. And as you guys can see, I'm really not being cautious with the going outside the lines on the black bar areas, because those are going to get colored over at the end. Okay, so that's warm 4. Now I'm going to use a little bit of warm 5 to bring in some deeper shadows. And warm 4 to blend them out. Oh, hi, Wolf Runner. Thank you. And thank you, the Huinator. B. McTeigue, or is it McTeigue? See, like, I guess it's McTeigue, right? See, because most people call me McTeigue, which actually is the incorrect pronunciation of my name. Do I know you? Oh, thank you, Mystery. All right, well, I feel like we've gone all the way around and now I got it and I understand what to do. Over here. I'm going to do these 2 sections at the same time. Okay, so the way to avoid getting that muddy gray look that is not very attractive for all of this, you layer the actual colored marker inside. Think like a sandwich, you know? BLT, something like that, you know? And consider this like, okay, if you want extra bacon, so 2 layers of bacon. Think of the color as the bacon. Can never have too much of that. And just layer it. Yeah, oh, we don't know each other. Okay, but thank you for saying hello. That's awesome. And yes, our last name is so freaking rare. So whenever I hear any McTeigue or McTeigue, I basically consider them family because there's so few of us. We probably are ending up related somehow. Hello, Glitch. I am a self-taught artist, but I pick stuff up, you know, here and there. Self-taught and peer-taught, because, you know, some of the best ways to learn is to get peer review. Or you see an artist, you know, like you guys are doing here with me. You see an artist that's doing something with their technique and you like it. Or like Kylie says, okay, swipe. Because, you know, how to use markers is one of those things that like you learn over time, or like in this case, I'm more than happy to tell you because you're using the markers in your way on your own work. And if you have a little bit more information on something, some technique somebody tried that worked, which thank God, it took a few squares for me to figure it out, but now where it's important on her hip, where, you know, that's where the eye is drawn, I started here where it's in shadow. So if something looks funky, it doesn't matter. Everyone's eyes will chalk it up to, well, it's in shadow. But as we go around, this is where it really starts to matter that you have your shit straight. So yeah, here we go. And I have to give mad props to Kylie because I would not have had the balls to mix these colors together at all. So Kylie, mad props to you for that. All right, so here we go. We're adding in some more bacon. You want to have that color in again, or what happens is it starts to look muddy and murky and gross. So you want to like layer in the color. Eternal Dark something, sorry, your name disappeared. Thank you so much for the follow. Oh, I don't know, Kylie. I actually know for sure I wouldn't have. You know, I really paused on changing my plan from the toner grays. McTeigue, thank you for the follow. Oh, hello, Jen. Oh, Eternal Dark Universe. Okay, I missed the last bit of your name. Thank you for following. All right, so now I'm using Warm 4 again. And guys, I'm using the Copic sketch markers. They do have the Copic Original, the Chow. There's a few different types. I'm using Copic sketch because those are the ones that I bought at the beginning, and so I just keep my set even. I have a couple Chow markers that were given away for free at Artist Alley, and whenever there's free Copic markers, I straight up use them and take them. But this is what the Chow looks like. I believe they are refillable as well. I haven't had to refill them yet. These are cheaper though. The only reason why I'm not switching completely to Chow is I like the number being on the top of the marker because of how I store my markers. So it's really just for ease of use for me. But the Chows are a little bit cheaper than the sketch markers, and I think that aside from the shape of the barrel, they're the same. So if you want, you can always get those ones. It'll save you some money. And then the other thing is there's two types of nibs on these. There's the sketch or the brush side, which is what I like to use, or there's the chisel tip. And a lot of other artists like to use the chisel tip. It's just something, it's all about personal preference, and I like the brush tip. All right, I'm gonna fill this in again because it's probably dried out. This is very thirsty paper. Oh, I see, Kylie. All right, that is, that's interesting. You know what? I think I'm gonna do this because her rib cage is actually right here, so there would be a little bit more shadow. Okay, so this is Warm Gray number 4 again, and I'm gonna fill in the whole thing because her bust would be making this area more in shadow. So I'm sandwiching the colors together, and I'm doing it in layers. So I did E13 first, then I put the Warm Gray, which tends to make it look muddy, so that's why I put the E13 on again. Okay, and now I'm going to use Warm 5 for the shadow areas. And just a tiny dab of Warm 6. Oh no, I totally don't mind, Jen. You deserve all of the props that you get. All right, and I'm using a little bit of Warm 6 and going in to add some more shadow into a few places. So like here, I wasn't doing the E13 as much, and it's starting to look kind of muddy. So I'm just gonna put in a little bit more E13 there. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the arms. Oh, thank you for the host, Jen. All right, so I tried filling in a few bigger areas with the marker, but what was happening is it really dried up, and this paper is very thirsty, so it dries up pretty quick. So this is another spot at the top of the shoulder where A, it would be catching a lot of light, and B, the nylon would be a little bit more pulled right there. So I'm gonna have this top of her shoulder portion with very little of the gray. All right, and now I'm going to use Warm 5. Start getting a bit more shadow in a few spots, and I'll blend it out with the Warm 4. So I'm blending out those areas now. There we go. And I might go in with colored pencil and, you know, blacken up some of these areas, because while it's not looking as muddy on screen, I can see it here. It's a little bit of a muddy kind of color. But I think some of that muddiness can be fixed or adjusted with some colored pencil at the end. Okay, and now Warm 4. Am I ready for ECC? No, I am not. But I'm working on it, slowly but surely. See, the thing is I have to time everything correctly. I called the hotel that I booked to stay at in Emerald City, and they if you get anything there too early, what happens is they'll start charging you a storage fee. So I do need to order some art supplies and stuff that I can only get in the US. So I have to order them and get them shipped to the hotel, but I can't have them sitting there for too long. So I have to schedule everything. It's all timed by like the shipping schedule of the company I need to buy my art supply from. Or my banner or whatever, you know, like the banner place that I buy from, they're amazing, but no, it's no but, they are amazing. They produce the banner in a day and they ship it on like UPS 2-day or something like that. So, you know, it's like 3 days total and it's gonna be there. So I have had my banner made for like a week or two, but I can't print it until a little later on, because they were like, depending on the weight of your stuff, the storage fees that we're gonna charge you are gonna be astronomical. Like even the hotel warned me, like, seriously, don't send anything too early. So I'm trying to schedule it all so that it's not too early / not too late. And it is a juggling act. Oh, hello, not Star-Lord's fault. Okay, now I'm just putting in a little tiny bit of warm gray number 5, just in the actual lower part of her arm that wouldn't be catching as much light. And with nylon, it gets darker as it rounds the thigh or the arm or whatever, because, you know, the way that it works is you're kind of seeing the nylon in perspective. So it's all the little tiny bits of cloth are looking more scrunched together and lining up more than when you're seeing it straight on. So that's why there's shadowing on both sides, which isn't something that you would do with, say, cotton material or something like that, because it would catch the light, but the material itself wouldn't change by perspective, if that makes sense. Oh, Kylie, no, you're the one who gave me the idea and the kick in the butt I needed. I wouldn't have done this, so thank you so much. All right, I forgot one spot over here. So yes, this part of the shoulder would have a highlight like that side, but I'm not gonna do as much because this part is in shadow. So we're kind of dealing with highlights and shadows in a different way between the two shoulders. All right, and now more warm 4. So there will be a highlight, but not quite as strong of a highlight on this side. Aw, thank you, Kylie. Still, though. Yeah, it's hard. So I was being lazy, and I really didn't think I could do it. Yeah, see, Gabriel, that's the shit we just don't even bother thinking about. We just do it anyway, because I'm sure they figure it out, or, I don't know, it just appears. Okay, so, I think that we're done. I don't think I missed any spots, and now it's time to move on to the black bars. All that stuff, whatever that is. So I'm gonna put away my warm markers because I don't think I need them anymore. They're gonna go in my little Ziploc bag that even has a hole in it. Because, oh well. All right. Oh, the Huinator. You know what you can do? If you're using the gray tone set, at the beginning when I was first getting into Copic Marker, I didn't use all of them at all. I started with gray. And then if I wanted to add a color, I would use a little bit of watercolor or the watercolor colored pencils. So the ones that you can mix. You can actually mix them with the alcohol-based markers, which is what Copic is. And you can get some nice colors that way. Oh, hello, Barbados Rexibo. Thank you so much. I'm doing good. Oh, hey, Adam. Okay, so this is a thought that I had last time. I'm not sure if this is even going to work. But the black bars on her outfit they don't really catch the light. You can search on Google if you're on your phone or your computer. Just look up Hellwitch Don McTeigue and you'll see which cover I'm working on, or which dress I'm looking at for reference. So this is a dress I did in the summer of 2018. I actually did it on live with you guys, I think. So it's not supposed to be really shiny, so any highlights are still going to be dark. So I'm gonna start, just so that everything is in the same hue family, I'm gonna start with R89, which is the darkest red that I own. And I'm gonna leave that as the highlight color. And again, I haven't done this before, so I could be just royally screwing up here. We won't know. So right now it's going to make the dress almost look one color. Like these black bars are going to kind of disappear for a little while. But I can still see my ink lines. So for now, I'm just going to fill it all in with this dark red. And that's basically going to serve as highlight. And then I get to use my toners to, the toner grays, I'm going to use almost a complete black. And that'll be the majority of the actual bars. And then only in some spots I'm gonna leave it with the red. Okay, see you, Dave. Thank you for stopping in. Oh, my personal favorite colors. I really love the red set that Copic has, believe it or not. So I'd have to say the reds are my personal favorites. And in the reds, which I'm sure Copic has way more than I have myself, I use these ones. It's R24, 26, no, 24, 46, 39, 59, and 89. And those are the reds that I have, and while I may not use all of them in any specific piece, I use at least 4 of them anytime I'm going to get a red. So one little sneaky trick that I do for commissions a lot, and initially it started out as something to kind of, if I'm not doing a background on a piece, doing a light outline in a Copic color that kind of matches or coordinates with the character that you're doing. It helps to tie the room together. Like, you know, it makes it look like it's on that paper somehow. It's like a bridge between the character and the white background. But also, it's really handy as if you go out of the lines anywhere, then it just covers it right up. Also, even if you don't go out of the lines, the Copic tends to bleed. I'll show you. right here. I don't know if you can see that, but the Copic will spread in the paper fibers. So sometimes it's not even something you can control, but there's a light halo that's spread out in these little teeny, like microscopic tendrils in the fibers of the paper. So it can do the mistakes and the Copic little bleeds and spreading. So yeah, it's really handy. So what I did is I actually bought a fair few of colors that are really, really light. You know, I'm talking about the, you know, BV000 and stuff like that. And I use those a lot as sort of my halo color. And it helps the piece to look more complete. And that's kind of the reason why I started doing it. But it's handy for many reasons. Almost done here with this part. So this is where I'm gonna have to go a little bit slower because now going outside the lines is no good. All right, so there's the red. And now I'm gonna start with toner 8 and see how that works. Oh yeah, you can't use whiteout if you're gonna do use Copic markers. But you know, over time, your skill will improve with your inking, and you know, Copic marker does cover a lot of, you know, imperfect inking. I don't really, when I know I'm gonna color something in Copic, my inking doesn't have line weight, hardly at all. It doesn't. You know, it's really, really basic because the Copic markers are going to be filling the piece out for you. And if you spend hours laboring over your inking to get it really clean and perfect, it's absolutely wasted time. No one's going to see that. No one's going to care. It is going to be colored. You're literally going to erase your pencil lines and start putting color down. So you can actually... you don't need to worry about having perfect inking in order to do the Copic marker. Oh, thank you, Adam. Okay, I'm using R89 and T8. And R89 is the base color that is gonna be left in certain areas as a highlight. So like here, there will be a highlight, so I'm leaving that as just the 8. And the reason why I did such a dark color for the highlight and used the 8, a red, is so that, you know, the whole piece has uniformity to it. So even the black is highlighted in sort of a deep red color. And I have to be so careful around her face. Oh, hi, Annika. I hope you have a good day, hun. Thank you so much, Wayne. So sometimes if you want your piece to have that uniform look, where I don't, when you do a toner gray or you know, any kind of gray, even in the concept where Kylie really got me to do the skin tone underneath the nylon, the mesh that I was putting down for her dress, having that undertone really does help, you know? And some colors work together better than others. Skin tone with a gray is a tough one to do. But this deep red, which is so close to like a dark maroon, almost black, using with a dark gray like this, they're so close in darkness, I guess, that they do mix together rather well, and you can leave some areas blank, but having the red all the way through first makes it so that even when you're putting down that gray, because it isn't fully black, it will pick up some of that red, and so it just looks like a darker red as opposed to a gray. So yes, you could save ink if you were to just only use the red where you have to, but then the gray will really stand out and it won't look like a darker version of said red. I hope that makes sense. Oh, see you later, Eric. Okay, more toner 8. So here I'm leaving it in full dark mode, and I'm filling it in completely. Here as well. I don't really like stomach areas to be catching tons of light. I'm pretty cautious with how much light a stomach will catch and where, because it can make it look quite lumpy and bumpy in a way that, you know, is a little, sometimes it can be a little too much. And if in the end I feel like some of the black sections of these bars need to be darker, I can go in with a darker shade of this toner gray. So I still have the toner 9 and 10 that I can use if need be. And then it trails off behind her thigh, but some of these places would be catching a little bit of light, so I'm using the R89 to blend those areas. Same thing here. I'm not going to have this section catching any light, but it'll start catching light here on her hip. Okay. We're almost done with this part. These are a little bit thinner, so they're a little bit harder to color in. So I'm barely touching the paper with the marker, just barely. Hello, Shane. No, you didn't. I started about an hour ago, so you're good. I'm gonna be on until 10:30. Second. Oh, so cool. Have fun, Tom. All right, now I'm gonna switch to toner number 9 in a couple, in just a couple little spots to just give it that final little pop of dark. Oh, thank you, Kylie. Oh, hello, Voxel Vision. Thank you so much for stopping in. All right, so then there's some places that I want it to be a little bit darker. So that is where toner gray number 9 is coming into play a little bit. And I'm not putting it everywhere. It's just in like the darker places for the markers. The spots where I really want it to have that nice strong contrast. Cheese curds are what's in poutine, right, Devin? All right, I need to use this T9 on the portions in her neck, and I'm scared to use it. All right, I'm gonna get some toner 8 again, because I think the part over her boobs is a little bit too light. There we go. Okay, her dress is done. I'll do the stones in a little while, I think. All right, so the toner gray markers are going away for now. I'm gonna do her hair with them at the end. Actually, you know what? Let's do the stones now. I want them to really pop out and look quite a bit lighter than everything else. That might not be light enough, but here we go. Maybe vermilion will work. Ever so cautiously filling in any little white dots. Okay. Now I'm gonna use some white jelly roll pen to make white sections in the stones. There we go. So that is done. Now I want to work on her face. Hey, Mark. Oh, congratulations, Tom. That's awesome. All right, I need a really thin pen, so I'm using 0.05. It's a Copic multi-liner, if I can get it open. Copic multi-liner pen used. Now I'm just going to erase the pencil lines for that spot. Oh, thank you, Kylie. All right, there we go. So the lines for the piercings are really, really thin compared to everything else that I'm working on, and I'm working with, but I don't want them to be like big globs on her face, so I used a really, really thin pen. Yes, very good call. All right, I need E13. Go, E13. Where is my plate? Oh yes, here's my plate. All right, trusty Copic plate. Let's refill E13. I didn't fill it too much. So hopefully I won't have any big blobs and drips on her face, because it didn't even drip out of the marker nib. So I'm hoping it'll be okay, but I do have my dab pad here in case it ends up being needed. All right, so I'm using E11 and E13 for her face. And first I do a complete fill with E11. Ooh, and I forgot, I'm gonna make her eyes red on this one. So sometimes when she's using her powers, her eyes turn that lime green. But here I'm gonna do her eyes completely red, which is what they are in their normal state. So I haven't changed markers yet. I'm still using just the E11. I'm starting my basic shading with this one. Now I'm switching to E13. Okay, I'm dabbing it off with the dab pad. Make sure there's not too much excess marker. Okay, it's pretty full, so I'm gonna have to do a lot of blending with the E11. So I'm using the 11 to blend out the 13. I'm gonna keep the dab pad close. E13 again. I'll look up and catch up on comments if there are any in just a minute. I just can't look up while I'm working on this portion of the face because I can't stop right now. So if you've said something and I haven't responded to you, just tag my name in it and I'll catch up, I promise. Okay, so here is E23. It's just a little bit of a darker brown that I'm going to use for some of the shadows on her face. I kind of went as far as I could with the E13. Now I need to bring in a little bit of a darker tone. And I'll use the E13 to blend it. And whoops, I need E11. There we go. Okay. And then I'll do her eyes and her lips next. So her eyes, I'm going to start with vermilion, which is going to look very kind of orangey red. But that's because I want them to have a nice glow. Oh, hello, Anthony. I'm sorry I missed it. How's it going? My red marker has a little bit of a beard. I need to fix it or put a new nib on it. All right, and I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'm gonna wait until her skin dries. I'm gonna do her lips with the same basic colors. But I'll do that in a minute. For now, I'm gonna get her pupils in. Oh, I can never get this one open. Okay, now I'm using the 0.2 to work on her lashes. Oh, Anthony, I'm doing great. I hope you are as well. So there's something about Copic Marker that tends to leave a little bit of a film on top of pen. So any places where I feel like it's really important that it's nice and black, like lashes for instance, I go back in and put a little bit more. And I usually by the end realize that I want to change the shape of the eye a little bit, so that's when I can fix that too. All right, and then to make it look realistic, I use a little bit of Sakura Jelly Roll. And I put it right, kind of partially over the eye. There we go. And adjust the shape a little bit more. There we go. Okay, now I think it should be dry enough for me to do the lips. Oh no, I'm so sorry, Anthony. That's a bummer. You know what, guys, are you feeling like the art might be a little bit blurry? I'm gonna... Yeah, like is the marker, yeah, the marker is a little bit blurry. Let me see if I can fix that. It's not blurry to you? Okay, then I'll leave it alone. Because I could so easily really screw things up. Alright, there we go. Not blurry. All right, thank you all. Okay, so I'm going to start with vermilion on her lips. And I need to go close. Hopefully my head won't end up being in anyone's way. I have really light pencil lines left. I don't like inked lips very much. For the most part. There we go. All right, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of red to it. Now I'm just mixing a little bit of vermilion in again. Just be a little bit thicker on this side. Sorry, I'm barely breathing, so I'm gonna start mumbling at you guys a little bit. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate it. No, I actually haven't, Kylie. That might be a question I'm going to ask in person. All right, there we go. I would like to get a little tiny tick of a line a little further on that side. It's just so risky. I could totally ruin it right now. Oh, thank you, Philip. Me, but, well, no, I don't have blurry vision here. I was thinking it might look a little bit blurry on the screen. Okay, this is gonna be so scary. All right, I'm not gonna mess with it anymore. That's good enough. Okay, so there are her lips. I'm gonna just do a little dab of yellow. Let's make sure this isn't too full. Or no, wait, I think her, just one second, I need to just check what color her piercings are. Oh, they're silver. Okay, never mind. It's a silver piercing, so I'm gonna grab a little bit of Cool Gray number 4. To just dab into the silver piercings. And I need to thicken the line on her piercings. They're too barely visible, and I can never get these open. Sorry, you guys. I'm bringing in her eyebrows a little bit more. Okay, So now for the piercing, at least the one on her lip, I'm gonna give it a shine. There we go. Maybe a slight pop of shine on these guys too. There we go. So her face is done, her dress is done, and now I'm gonna start working on, oh, thank you, Anthony. I'm gonna start working on her hair and her horns. But since I am looking up and in between a couple portions, does anyone have any questions or anything that I missed that you wanted me to see? Oh, thank you, Mr. E. I really appreciate it. So while we're like taking a second to talk and stuff, I'm just gonna do a thicker outline around her body so that she stands out a little bit more. Raffle. Oh, that's great. I'm so grateful to all of you guys for your patience with me on days that I don't keep my guideline schedule. It's gonna be even more sporadic as the convention season starts to ramp up. It's gonna be, you know, I'm gonna like be traveling on my usual days and try to make it up when I get home, and all of that. So it's gonna get even more crazy and interesting as far as when I'm gonna make it live. And if I end up having to go live at a time that's bad for all of you guys or some of you, I'm so sorry. But I will really try to keep up the 3 times a week if at all possible. And if I'm traveling, oh, Glitch214, thank you for the follow. If I happen to be traveling, I'll try to carry this arm and stuff so I can set up in hotels, and I'll just do my very best to keep it up. Oh, thank you, Mark. So much love to you. Okay, so I know Kylie has been really waiting for me to get to the hair. So I'm gonna do the hair next, and for this one, I'm gonna go black with her hair. Booty outline. Okay. I really can't remember what colors I did last time, so we're just gonna wing it. I'm gonna start with T6. Do you guys hear that? That's the snowplow. Okay, see you later, Tom. Have a good one. So tomorrow, me and my daughter are gonna go out together, and we found out that there is a store here that like has tons of Japanese stationery. So it's like a Japanese stationery, home goods, pencil case, fun stuff store. So we're gonna go tomorrow and just go crazy. It does, Kylie, but also this paper is incredibly porous. Think almost onto the like watercolor thirsty style paper. Yeah, mommy-daughter day. It's gonna be so much fun. And then I think also there's a couple like Asian food markets here, and I've heard about them so much, and I just have never made it to one, and I want to go so bad. So I'm gonna try to find one tomorrow that's somewhere around where we're going, and we're gonna go buy a bunch of seaweed and yummy Japanese food. Happy! Oh, that's awesome! I'm so glad you and Sarah are having a mommy-daughter day. They're so much fun. Oh, congratulations, Jeremy! Daddy-daughter day, that's wonderful. Really? For real, Kylie? Oh my god. Alright, now I'm using T8. So it's toner gray number 8. And I have to be really careful that it doesn't start to bleed into her face. So I'm actually leaving like 0.5 millimeter buffer around her face from this darker color. Because even if I don't go over the lines, like I told you guys, it can start to spread. Oh, thank you so much, Glitch. That means a ton. And at the end, if I decide that some spots need like a bigger pop of highlight, I can do that with my trusty colored pencil. Because at least to me, it is looking a little darker on screen than it is in person. Yeah, it's a lot darker on the screen than it is in front of me. So like her hair is still looking quite gray to me, but it's looking almost black to you guys. At least you'll see it when I do the time-lapse post. If this video takes and it looks okay, I'll time-lapse. I'll post the time-lapse sometime over the weekend. So you can see my fingers going so much faster than they do in real life. God, I wish like my art speed was time-lapse speed. That would be so boss. But oh well. Post after mother-daughter time. Oh, thank you, Mr. E. You're such a sweetheart. Hair stalks. Like Medusa snakes, I guess it'd be... Well, it would, Kylie, but then at the same time, like, you could do the base tone and then just take care of all the shadows and highlights by just doing, like, dots, you know? And random... Like, it'll give it more of a textured look. Let me see if I have a piece of paper. I don't know what her hair color is, and I don't remember. But let's say... Oh, someone asked me a question. How late am I streaming? Till 10:30 my time, which I think is the same as yours. Philip? Alright, so let's just do green here, okay? Something like that. And then grab a mid-tone. I'm not even sure if these are the right colors for it, like for one another, but do something kind of like that, Kylie. And then leave the center, because it's supposed to have some sort of texture, right? So if you do something like that, and then go back in, I can't remember what marker I used, but let's just say this one. Go back in and just blend it a little bit, and then you can go with a highlight jelly roll or something and give it some highlights like that. But just give it like that textured look. I don't know if that helps at all. Half an hour more? No, I have another hour according to me. I mean, according to my watch. Take it. Snatch away. That's what I'm here for. Okay. So, I'm still working with T8 and bringing in the darker shadows. just going to blend some of these edges with the T6. And I'm going to get some might even try toner 10, which is really dark. Let's just do T9 for now. A little too chicken to use T10. See you later, Mark. Have a good one. All right, I'm almost done with the hair, and then we can go on to the wing on the other side. And if I have time, then maybe I'll see if I can get some of the white splatter and stuff done on the other blanks. Okay, I'm gonna have to be so careful in here. And I'm leaving a little buffer so that hopefully I don't accidentally let any marker bleed into her face. Thank you so much, Mr. E. Okay, now I'm gonna work on her horns, actually. I had said I was gonna do the wings, but I need to do the horns first. So I'm gonna do the horns in the same basic colors that I do her wings in. And her, well, let me see. How did I do the horns? Yeah, they're the same tones as the wings, so let's do that real quick. Alright, so I was using T8, now I'm switching to T9. No, not T, I'm sorry, E8 and E9. Oh, thank you so much, Mr. E. Aw, that means so much. Yay. All right, I want to get a little bit of highlight in there, and I messed up and I did it too dark without kind of taking that corner into account. And I can fix that at the end with a little bit of colored pencil. Okay. Let's do the other wing. Whoop, whoop. So this other wing, it's gonna have a little bit of wing coming through right about here. I think, or actually, no, it goes all the way down. So I'm just doing E8 and E9. There we go. And I feel like the saturation got lost a little bit up here in this corner. So I'm gonna put a little bit more yellow in there to get a bit more saturation, because it's not, I don't know, it's starting to look muddy. Now I wouldn't do this over skin, because with skin it will make it kind of splotchy, but with this it should be okay. So this is E08 now. So I'm giving it a little bit more texture in the brown as well. I'm using E08. Now I'm going to switch to E09. Hey, Opportune, how's it going? And blending it out with E08. It was just looking a little too even. I want some more depth, darkness, and splotchiness in it. And I think giving the edge of her wings a little bit more contrast and darkness will actually help the rest of her wing look like it's catching light in places. And so I'm just toggling between E08 and E09 right now. I'm trying to give it a little bit more of like a veiny, splotchy look going off the page. And anywhere I feel it needs it, I'm gonna go back in with some yellow. And it bled all over, so let's see how that ends up looking. I'm using E09 right now. And and then blending it out with E08. More E09. And blending with E08. Adding in a bit more yellow. Oops. Using the chisel tip. Guess we'll see how that looks. All right. I'm much happier with that. To me, it looks a little bit more realistic, a little less like scales, because that is not something I intended for it to look like. Let's get some really dark E18 back in here. Okay, so this side is done. I'm happy with it now. Maybe I'll give it some flicks. So this is how you get splatter onto a piece. We're gonna cover up her face like this and get a little bit of marker splatter on there. Give the wings a little bit of texture. There we go. Now they've got a little bit more texture. There's a little bit more to them. And let's get started on the next one. Oh, thank you so much, Opportune Jay. You know, I did make a pearl print of it. And then I felt like the pearl paper wasn't really showing through. It because there was so much ink, it was kind of covering the luminous brightness of it, and as such I didn't feel like I could in good conscience sell it as a pearl print because it was too covered up. I hope that makes sense. Okay, time to fill this whole section. Oh, then a print. I do have it as a print on my website, Opportune. I just don't have it as a pearl print. But yes, it's there as a print. Thank you so much for liking it. Wow, I thought that this marker was full, and it's not. Sorry about the squeaking. All right, let's get the yellow. Do some of the splotching. No, no worries. All right, so I'm just getting in the yellow, and I'm using the yellow to push and spread the brown so that it's, I'm pushing the brown into the little sections, and that makes it start looking like, I don't know, kind of like dragon skin is what I'm hoping for. And then I know because of like the form of my hand or the way that I'm doing it, for some reason it does start to look kind of like, I don't know, it's all a little oval shaped, you know? So that's why I went in with the T8, the E8 and E9 afterwards and kind of faux splotched it up a little bit. So now I'm doing this sort of the faux splotch. And doubling the colors over one another like this with Copic Marker does really help the Copic Marker to look a lot more saturated. So a few layers, if you really want bright or strong color in it, usually going over it a couple times helps it kind of amp up the color and saturation. So now I'm using, I'm kind of toggling between T8 and T9. So right now I'm using T9, and it's the next darker up brown. Getting a little shadow put in from her body. think tomorrow is my cheat day, and I'm so excited. I haven't decided what exactly I'm going to do or eat for my cheat day this weekend, but I'm gonna. And I've been so good, you guys. I know nobody likes to hear about anybody's diet, but oh well. You guys know how hard it is for me not to just eat bread all day long. I'm such a carb girl. Yeah, cheating time. I don't know. It's such an important decision. You know what though? We get this, I don't generally like sourdough bread, like at all, but we get this one type of sourdough bread that they make at Superstore here in Canada, and it's so yummy that honestly, even when I was, oh, love you, Kylie. Have a great mommy-daughter day. Bye, hun. Thank you again for having me get brave and do the stocking. I really appreciate it. Yeah, well, it's sourdough loaf, right? But it's got the consistency of a bagel, so it's like that really thick, dense bread. And like, I'm telling you, that toasted with butter is the ultimate. I am so happy. I could probably plunk down and eat an entire loaf in one shot, and I would be thrilled. So like, that's all I want all day. You're addicted to rye crisp? Oh, nice. Alright, I should have filled the marker before I started this side. Alright, I'm gonna fill it as much as I possibly can right now. Sorry about the squeaking, everyone. It definitely gets worse when a marker's running dry. I'm at least going to try to get it filled enough that there's no white paper left, and then I'll fill the marker right away because I need it more full than this to do any more work on it. Okay, so I'm setting this aside to do a refill. Oh, croissants. Croissants is a great idea too. Or are you saying that that's your lusty that you usually like to have? I also may just get like half a cup of chocolate chips, mix it with some almonds and walnuts, and eat that too. Either way, it's going to be epic. You like them for everyone. Nice. Oh, so much better. Oh my god. Alright. Now we can fix all the, like, inconsistent, splotchy coloring that I just did. Now that the marker is nice and full. Make a chocolate chip sandwich. Yeah, that's a great idea, Mr. E. All right, now I'm adding in the yellow. Thankfully, the yellow is still really full and saturated. So I'm pretty much just making pools of yellow ink all over the brown. Oh my god, that sounded so bad now that I hear it back in my head. Yellow marker. Oh my god. A cheat book by Dawn? Oh yes. I could fill the cheat book with so many really not healthy snacks. But boy, if I could, I would just live on like bread. Ooh, that's a great idea, Devin. I've done that before. Are you kidding? Though honestly, if I'm gonna have chocolate and peanut butter, I love Reese's peanut butter cups. That's my thing, right? But I like way prefer just having Nutella with a spoon and mixed with some peanut butter on a spoon and just eat it like that. Like every self-respecting chocoholic. I agree with you, Mr. E. Well said. So check this out. I have completely ruined my previously clean markers, and this is from 2 uses, or maybe 3 with the 3 blanks, and they're just, you know, inked to hell again. So I'm hopeless. I can't keep my markers clean. So I'm adding in the splotchiness now. A little bit of veining. And I'm blending it out with the E8. You know, I'm liking this darker part. I think I'm gonna darken up that side of her wings too. Dodo. Oh yeah, my fingers are also a mess. Always.
Are you ready?
5-pound bag used to only to work. Oh, wow. Well, you have restraint then, Devin, because I sure as shit don't. If I had a 5-pound bag of Reese's peanut butter cups, I would eat probably about a pound a day and they'd be gone in a week. That's why I just don't have any of that kind of food in the house or anywhere near me, because it can't be near me. I will just eat it. Oh, thank you so much, Mr. E. Yeah, I think it helps make the whole situation look richer. More saturated, more contrast between the two. Yeah, so I'm gonna carry that out on that side too. I need to do the other wing here. The place is called Dodo? Is that what you mean, Anthony?
Are you ready?
You have to be so careful along the spine. There we go. Oh, Dolphiel, thank you so much for the follow. Oh, it's like cookie dough. They have... Oh, wow. Well, that sounds amazing. I'm gonna have to go there the next time I go to the Minneapolis show. Hey, Dolphiel, thank you so much. Yes, I really must. That sounds amazing. Okay, I've switched to E9 now. Okay, and blending it back out with E8. Well, we have them in New York and Minnesota. Okay, well then I'm gonna need to find one in New York, because the New York Comic-Con sign-up came out yesterday, so I signed up, and now I'm just really crossing my fingers that I get approved. We'll find out sometime in May who gets into New York Comic-Con. It's always very exciting. Are you from New York, Opportune? You think New York was the first place? Well, I'm gonna have to find it. Hopefully it's somewhere close to Times Square, because that's literally the only place I get around to. That's about it. Oh, thank you for the warning. Who was it that gave me the 15-minute? Mr. E, thank you so much. I had no idea it was that close to being time to go. Oh my god. Alright, so let's try to at least finish up most of this. Okay. No, I'm not. These are being handed over to Coffin Comics, and I think, I don't know what they're going to use them for precisely, but a lot of times they use them as like mystery envelope things and stuff like that. And then I get comps. Yeah, the red mystery envelopes. Okay, now I'm switching to E18, which is the darker color that I used. and what I used as the splatter tone as well. So I'm going to make a mad dash at trying to finish the top of the wings by 10:30. I have 10 minutes or 11 minutes, so I'm probably not going to do a raid tonight, just because I won't make it to stay for the raid. I have to hurry to get my kiddos to bed. So let's try to finish this up, though. I think it's possible. So far, every mystery envelope. Okay, I need E. What color did I use here? I think E17. Alright, E17. Let's finish this up. I'm gonna try to haul ass a little bit. And if I decide to do any kind of background color, I can just do that at the end on my own time. And then I'll post the finals of these sometime soon too. Yep. Time to go quick. But thankfully, this is the greatest spot to need to go quick with Copic Marker on, because it's supposed to look scratchy and gnarly, and that's best done by, you know, going quick with the markers, being pretty sharp with it, because then it looks more like bone, or, you know, something angular like bark or something like that. Obviously these aren't bark wings, but, you know, bone, bark has a bit, bone is a little smoother usually, but I want this to almost be bark-like in its boniness. I hope that makes sense. Oh, did we get a new Hypno Sherlock? Whoever just followed me, thank you so much. I'm so sorry that I missed you. So I'm going to go back in a second and add more of the original color that I put down to kind of blend these together. But just a little bit, because I don't want to over blend or it's going to lose that sharp look that it has right now of being really highly in shadow, which makes it look more angular and have the proper texture that it needs. Where's Sherlock at tonight? I don't know. He's probably down with the family somewhere, hanging out, since he likes to follow everyone around. Okay, almost done here. Alright, I'm going to cover this up again. Let's just cover that too. Almost done. Go. That is finished. And I'm just going to do a tiny little scribble with white, and then I'm going to sign off for tonight and catch you guys on Sunday. Yeah, I know. That is 100% what Sherlock is probably doing, Gabriel. That sounds just right. Here we go. Just a little bit of white highlight on her hair. And this is with the Caran d'Ache luminous colored pencils that I really love. They're like every bit as awesome as their price tells you. So I'm keeping the shine kind of to a minimum. I don't really want her hair to look a little like too overpowering. I want it to just kind of be smooth, and sometimes when I over highlight in hair, I feel like it can kind of almost start making it look dirty, like too many individual strands. And the whole thing about clean hair is that it's smooth and silky like a Pantene ad. So I try to be a little bit careful about that these days, to tone down on my over highlighting of hair. No greasy demon hair. That's right. Oh, thank you so much, Mr. E. I am so glad that you guys like it. And this has definitely been so much fun. And I really appreciate you guys hanging with me on this one. Thank you so much for all of your kindness and encouragement. It truly means a ton. I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate it. For anyone who's on my email list, which I know a bunch of you are, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the new print of the month that's out. And for anyone who isn't on my email list, please join in. It's a ton of fun. I send out weekly updates. That's the place where you can get on for commissions, for conventions, which are the season's starting up. So that is where you need to be if you want to be on my show sketch list. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm kind of trying to do my goodbye while still working so I can wrap this up. I'm sort of cheating a little bit. But oh well. Anyway, this has been so much fun. You guys are so encouraging always. I love you all bunches. And there it is. We are done. And thank you so much, guys. Lots and lots of love to you. Have a fantastic weekend. And I will catch you hopefully on Sunday for another stream. Let me just zoom out so you can see it. I will try to get it in this camera, right? I don't know if now the camera is probably in the way. Anyway, there we are. That's the final piece, and I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. And again, I will see you on Sunday. Lots of love to all of you. You guys rock. Thanks to the new followers, the lurkers. Follow me online, and thank you again. Bye.